I love the theme of the songs. I don't know if you caught the theme or not as we were going through, but I shall not be moved. The first song, and then through it all, I've learned to trust in Jesus, and then finishing up about God's faithfulness. Forever God is faithful. And I was just thinking of how we have got to make this determination as Christians to not be moved. We've got to make this determination that knowing deep down in our heart, through it all, we learn to trust in Jesus. You know, we live in a popcorn society. What do I mean by that? Microwave popcorn. You put it in the oven, you don't have to do anything to it in the microwave oven, you turn the thing on, and 3.5 minutes later, you've got popcorn. You open the bag, dump it out, it's all ready. It's all buttered, it's all salted, and if that isn't fast enough, you can get a small bag that'll do it in 1.5 minutes. Because 3.5 minutes is way too long for anybody to wait for popcorn. Now, it can't be the volume because, I don't know, maybe it is, but for me, I can eat a whole bag of popcorn, the big bags, without a problem. So it can't be the volume, but we live in a society where everything is instant. We want things right away. It used to be that it took 20 minutes to make rice or so. I'm not much of a cook, but I think it's about 20 minutes to boil rice. But no, we've got instant rice. Rice that you can make in a matter of how much time? Minute rice. I hope it's not like a minute Mount Plow. But we have those of you that didn't get that joke, I won't get into it now. I have a story. Afterwards, you ask me about my story. I'll tell you about it. But we live in an instant society. And then we take the training that the society gives us about everything. We want it, and we want it now. And we take that, and we turn to God, and we say, I want it, and I want it now. And you know what God says? Well, okay. Glad to know how you feel. But you know what? God is not in a rush. Because God is a master builder. And he builds from the bottom up. He builds from the foundation up. God is not going to, just because me and you say, I want it, and I want it now, he's not going to throw together a bunch of sticks on a pile of sand. He won't do it. He'll start from the foundation. When me and my wife first made a commitment to Christ, I had given my life to the Lord earlier, but 23 years ago approximately, I made a fresh commitment and she got saved. The very first thing the Lord did was I got fired from my job. Well, I say the Lord didn't do it. It was my own incompetence that had got me fired from my job. But the very first thing that happened within a week of me giving my life to Christ, and I said, Lord, I surrender my life to you. I give my life to you, Lord. Now everything's going to be good, right? You're fired. I'm like, what? And it was about a week later, I think, wasn't long, and my wife come home and crying and in tears, finally quit her job, which really, it was the circumstances at her job. I don't blame her for quitting. But now, oh great, we gave our life to Christ, and now we got no job. This is what the Lord's done for us. But he began to build and work, and we watched him. It's been 23 years. He's still at work. Really, believe me, he's still at work. There's much work that still needs to be done. And he's still at work because he will not rush it. Now, God could do it just like that, but he works at our pace. And I'm not always the quickest, okay? I'm not always, my head sometimes is a little hard, and I got to learn things the hard way. But the message in the song, Steve, I love the message. Through it all. This is not a message of instantaneous deliverance, although I believe deliverance can come instantaneous. But through it all, you walk the problem out, and God leads you through little by little. And after a month, a year, or 10 years, you stand and you look back and say, my goodness, I might not be the man I ought to be, but thank God I'm not the one I used to be. God is changing me little by little, and it's all about faith and patience.